Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. Okay, today we're going to answer some more questions. I got a lot of requests about asking me some of the things that you might like to know. So we are going to answer them. With me today is Robert Clancy, and he is the voice behind the video.
Yes, so I'm acting as your fan and reading these fan questions. So actually, there were several of them that came in on the last video, and one is from Wise Guy 26. These are the YouTube handles, and he said, "Who would you like to train with or star with in a movie, either past or present, that you haven't been with yet?"
Oh, okay. Well, that's a two-part question. Who would I like to train with? One of my things that I will do is to train in Italy with Paolo Cangelosi. I would like to go over there for a month or so and train in Chen Tai Chi, which is a little bit external and internal at the same time. So Chen Tai Chi combines your soft movements with also your hard movements, with a lot of body, a lot of waist going in. And I found that he is one of the best. So that's who I would like to train with. Who would I like to star with? Since I grew up with Jackie Chan as my idol, I would love to star in a movie with Jackie Chan. I still admire him. He was the first person that I thought he could take any kind of apparatus, like a telephone, a hairbrush, and use it into a weapon. And I really like that. I thought that was fascinating because it does work and it is funny. So
Yeah, and
I
you
would
talked
like to.
about, you were in a movie that he produced, and I think there was something with that. But also, you were supposed to be in a movie with him, and then he got in an accident.
Yeah, I was supposed to be an armor of God, and then that's when he had the accident. So I was supposed to play the nemesis, but yeah, it didn't happen. But there's still time.
There
It
is
could
still
possibly
time.
happen.
So there you go. So next question was from Albert, and he said, with the popularity of the video game series Mortal Kombat, a lot of fans out there say that you were the inspirational reference for the character Sonya Blade from the original first Mortal Kombat game. And how do you reflect on that? And what what did that do for you, or how did that affect your career?
Well, it hasn't affected my career at all. But during that time, everybody, when they saw me, they'd go, "Oh, Sonya Blade." And if you even look at my Wikipedia, which I didn't do, someone else did, said Cynthia Rothrock is Sonya Blade. What the company did at that time, I was in the height of my filming. My fee was very high, and they wanted to use me, but they didn't want to pay me. So what they did is they took my likeness, they took my Rothrock sting kick that I developed and put it into the game. They copied my hairstyle. So everybody thought it was me, but it was kind of like a little bit of a sneaky way to get around it. So at first I was a little upset about it, but then I thought, you know what the heck.
So you are
So
Sonya Blade anyway. So there you go. You're the only
yeah,
one that has the
right.
scorpion kick. So there.
Right. Yeah. Someone said you should go to the comic conventions, for Mortal Kombat because you were the inspiration behind it. You would sell a lot of pictures.
And this question from Ninja Dragon, and it's not really a martial arts question, so I kind of like this one. He wants to know, or she wants to know, what is your favorite car that you like driving, and do you prefer manual, shift, or automatic?
Okay. Well, that's a cool question. Right now, I currently drive a Jeep Rubicon, and I do like the Jeeps. I used to drive an H3, and I really like that. They don't make them anymore, but I'll tell you the reason why I really like that is because I drive up into the mountains a lot, and it's snowy and icy and very treacherous, like going up like a hill that's like at like 10,000 feet altitude, and I feel very safe in it. And I drive my daughter and my dog, so it's just a tank, and I just feel really safe in it. But since they don't make it anymore, I've opted for the Jeep. So I like that. I'm a little bit crazy. I would like to get the Jeep Challenger truck just because it has a lot of space in it, and I think it's like my karate male masculine side, I guess, that likes to drive big powered cars.
Well, that leads us into our next question because you said, you're in touch with that male side, but also you're a role model for a lot of young women out there. And being, I think when people meet you and you seem like a smaller woman, but you still can carry yourself among all these guys in these movies and you can go toe to toe. So how do you feel that you are fulfilling that role model?
Well, you know what? That's one of the greatest things that I feel I have contributed to martial artists is one time a producer said, I want to use you in my movie because I want my daughter to have you as a role model. And that was one of the greatest things anybody ever said. And I love the fact, that women nowadays are strong. When I started martial arts, it was a fallacy. It was like a man's sport, and women couldn't do it because they were too small, they were too weak, and we're not. We're strong. It's all about technique. It's not about your physical strength. So I feel really great that I've opened the door for a lot of women. I was like the first woman on Karate Illustrated magazine, one of the first women to be an action star as a lead to make money. I remember when I used to teach seminars, women would say, "Can you wear lipstick while you're teaching?" I'm like, "Yeah, what does that have to do with it?" So, I feel great. I love being a role model actually for anybody. Because I feel a lot of times when I was doing movies, like for example, they'd say, "Oh, can you be an attorney in your next film?" Because I'm an attorney, and my boyfriend watched your movie and got me involved in it. And then I said, "Hey, if she could do martial arts, I could do it too." And I feel it brought a lot of women into martial arts during that time where they were thinking it was just a man's sport. So I love that, and I love to keep on doing that. And I hope I can keep inspiring people to train in martial arts.
Well, there's been a lot of comments about respect to you because you've done a lot of these techniques in heels. You've worn a dress where you can't put padding on to protect yourself in a lot of those scenes, and you're getting hit pretty hard, and you're hitting back pretty hard too. But in the Hong Kong film, so there was a lot of respect being dropped on your page for that. One of the other comments that came in is, I believe it's from Lady Reporter, when you talked about that stunt that you jumped off the second story building and you had the explosion behind you, and it's pretty dangerous, and then the camera didn't work and you had to do it again, and you almost broke your nose because your knees hit your face. They said, why didn't you use a stunt person for that jumping scene?
Well, it was my first time doing movies, and I thought it's the actor's job to do whatever the director said. And in Hong Kong, they preferred the actor doing the dangerous stuff. Where in America, they would prefer a stunt double doing it because they don't want their action star to get hurt. In Hong Kong, they just feel you can do it, you're tough. And, I would never say to them, "Oh, I'm afraid to do it, get a stunt person." There were a few situations where they did use a stunt person, but that was their doing, not mine. So I always did, even though I was afraid, things that they wanted me to do. And I remember there was one scene where this was actually one of the most scariest stunts I've ever done. We were fighting really high. I would say we were way over 200 feet up in an inside building, right? And they wanted me, the stunt was the person was going to jump all the way down to the ground. Well, I can't do that. But what they wanted me to do is from here, jump about maybe 15 feet to a platform, and they were going to catch me. There was no wires on me. There was no ropes on me. So if I would have missed, I would have fell to my death. That was very scary. I did it. I jumped, and they caught me as I landed, and I was like shaking when I did. And then the stunt double did the whole fall going all the way down. But what they wanted is to see me jumping off of there and then cut and have the stunt person jump. And that was very, very dangerous. It was very scary because I could have freaked out and lost my step. And there were no mattresses, nothing down. There was nothing there. It was just like, we know you could do it, so we're not afraid. And I was like, oh my
Wow.
God. It was very, very scary, but I was very proud after I did it that I didn't get hurt and I could do that.
Yeah, so people watching those movies know that she risked her life to put some of that down on
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. This question came in from Mike Lang, and he's from Brazil, and he said he's loving the behind the scenes videos, And he was really surprised that it took a whole month sometimes to film some of the final scenes out of the Hong Kong era films that you've done. And just, you got a lot of fans down in Brazil, he said, and just wants to know what the contrast, I guess, for the question is. In the U.S., a lot of those scenes are done very fast, so you had to still get that same action, but had less time.
Well, I don't think especially if you're looking at your independent pictures, you don't get that kind of action in that short a time. Now, the ending fight scene in Yes, Madam did take a month, but the whole movie took 7.5 months to shoot. And they're building these elaborate sets, so that takes time. We don't have any rehearsal. You come in and you rehearse on the set, and they're perfectionists. So you might do one fight segment about 20 to 40 times, and they'll take it from all different angles. So you're fighting like nonstop. The stunts are real. There's no CGI, so they take a lot to set. Maybe it might take up like 6 hours just to rig the stunt. In Yes, Madam, the guy falls from the balcony to a waterfall and then to the ground. That took a long time, So it just, and you know what? They're not on a budget like that. Oh, we have to get it shot like, time is money. They have all the time they want. And the actors just, they do different movies at the same time. So like in America, you can't do two movies at the same time. You got to finish one and then go to another. They might have two or three going on. So it's like, okay, we can't shoot today because so-and-so is working on this film. So it's getting everybody together. And, that was a pretty awesome ending scene. So, yeah. So
Well,
I wish some of my movies didn't even take a month to shoot. We shot them like in 3 days. Santa's Summer House was shot in 3 days, just 3 days only. So that actually is such a luxury when you have the time to make sure everything is excellent.
Yeah, well, you guys did a great job on the Santa's Summer House, and it's a nice holiday movie, but also just touching. There's some good scenes in there. On the other side, Farhan Haider, she asked, what is share one story behind Magic Crystal. So something there. I know we're probably going to do a whole behind the scenes on that in the near future, but what was one?
Okay. Well,
share one thing there.
A lot of stories on Magic Crystal. One thing is Richard Norton and I were fighting, and we were using weapons. I was fighting him with the sword, and I think he was fighting me with the sais. And we were shooting for about 18 hours straight. When we were shooting in Hong Kong, there was no such thing as 12 hours or 18 hours. It's like you just shoot until you get done. And we were quite tired, but yet we had this major fight scene. And I sliced down, and I don't know what happened, if it was my mistake or Richard's mistake, but he got sliced into the eyebrow. And then he had to go and get like about 10 stitches on his eyebrow. So what they did is they just put a wig on this other guy and said, okay, you're Richard, continue the scene. And then when Richard came back with his eye all red and stitched, we continued fighting again. So it was like, oh yeah, little accident, just go get stitched up and come right back. So that's in the one scene where we're fighting in the house that happened. It was basically because we were both really tired, and it was hard to focus after 18 hours being on the set.
Oh, so you did this to Richard.
I did. But trust me, we did so many movies together. He has paid me back.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, as always, thank you so much for sharing all of these insights into these movies and your career. And, we'll encourage the fans to keep posting these questions, and we'll get them answered.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. And we'll see you on the next one. So take care. Hi, this is Cynthia Rothrock. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. And if you like the videos, please put a like on it and refer it to your friends.